The fatal mistake. The Sovereign Dominion ruled 23 star systems across the Orion Spiral. Their towering chrome vessels, powered by dark matter cores, had crushed every resistance they encountered. Unlike other conquerors who sought resources or territory, the Sovereign simply enjoyed domination. They were collectors of submission, architects of despair. When their fleet detected Earth's colony on Proxima Centauri, they dismissed humans as another primitive species barely worth their attention. Earth had sent Kenji Nakamura, a soft-spoken diplomat with 30 years of experience in conflict resolution. His ship, the Harmony, approached the Sovereign Armada broadcasting greetings in 1,000 languages. Grand Executor Varthex monitored the small human vessel from his command throne. His serpentine form coiled around the crystalline control matrix. Insects attempting diplomacy, he hissed through translator nodes. Show them what happens to those who waste our time. In a heartbeat, the Harmony exploded. No warning shot, no ultimatum, just instantaneous annihilation. The Sovereign fleet broadcast the destruction across all channels, expecting the usual response: panic, surrender, or futile defiance. What they received instead was silence. Across Earth and its colonies, 20 billion humans watched Kenji's death. In Beijing, President Lai Wei stood before the United Nations Emergency Council. "They've made their choice," she said, her voice steady despite trembling hands. "Now they'll learn what humans do when you kill one of our own." Every screen on Earth displayed a single message: for Kenji. The Sovereign fleet continued toward Earth, puzzled by the lack of military response. Their sensors detected no weapon buildups, no fleet movements. Humans continued their daily routines. Grand Executor Varthex interpreted this as acceptance of inevitable doom. "Begin subjugation procedures," he ordered. "Prepare planetary control measures." Their silence speaks of their cowardice. Second Commander Prilef disagreed. "Something feels wrong. No species remains this calm facing extinction." "You credit them with too much intelligence," Varthex scoffed. "They're primitives who've barely left their star system. What could they possibly do?" Unknown to the Sovereign, humanity had spent 2 centuries preparing for first contact. Not with hope, but with caution. They had studied every transmission from advanced civilizations, learned every weakness. They had developed technology specifically designed to counter superior forces while keeping their capabilities hidden. In underground facilities across Earth, quantum computers finished their calculations. Commander Isabella Torres stood in the Strategic Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains. "All systems green," her team reported. "Operation Reckoning ready." She looked at Kenji's photo on the main screen. They had been academy classmates, friends who dreamed of peaceful exploration. "For you, old friend," she whispered, then gave the order that would change galactic history. Across the solar system, hidden installations powered up. Humanity's true defense network, built over decades, came online. The Sovereign had scanned for conventional weapons. They hadn't anticipated that Earth's entire planetary system had been weaponized. As the Sovereign fleet entered the outer solar system, their sensors detected strange energy signatures. Planets weren't where they should be. Moons exhibited impossible gravitational readings. Too late, they realized the truth. Humans had turned their entire star system into a trap. "Impossible," Varthex roared as warning alarms screamed. No primitive species could achieve this. The first wave hit them near Jupiter. Humanity had discovered how to create artificial singularities, tiny black holes that destabilized space-time. The Sovereign's mighty ships, designed to withstand direct energy weapons, had no defense against reality warping around them. 7 ships vanished instantly, crushed into quantum foam. The survivors scattered, their formation broken. That's when Earth revealed its second surprise: teleportation technology. Human ships appeared from nowhere, small and agile, each carrying devices that disrupted Sovereign shields. Commander Torres watched the battle unfold. "Phase 2, she ordered. Saturn's rings suddenly blazed with energy. Humans had seeded them with nanomachines that now activated, creating a massive electromagnetic pulse that disabled half the remaining Solvern fleet. Grand Executor Varthex struggled to maintain control. How? Their technology level. Our intelligence showed. Your intelligence was wrong. Came a broadcast from Earth. Commander Torres's face appeared on all screens. You thought us primitive because we chose peace. You mistook our restraint for weakness. But humans have a saying, speak softly and carry a big stick. The final blow came from Earth's moon. Humanity had hollowed out its core, installing a weapon that bent the fabric of space itself. When activated, it created a gravitational wave that swept through the solar system, crushing the remaining Solvern ships like tin cans. Only Varthex's command ship survived, deliberately spared. As it limped away from Earth's system, Torres sent one final message. Tell the galaxy what happened here. Tell them the humans offered peace and you chose war. Tell them that Earth remembers. The aftermath shocked the galactic community. For centuries, the Solvern had been untouchable. Now, in a single battle, a supposedly primitive species had annihilated their fleet. The message was clear. Humanity was not what it seemed. In the days that followed, Earth broadcast to every known civilization. We seek peace with all who seek peace, but those who harm our people will face consequences. Choose wisely. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Humans were happy to extend friendship, but deadly when provoked. The Solvern Dominion had discovered, too late, that killing a human was the worst mistake any species could make. The awakening. The news of the Solvern fleet's destruction spread across the galactic networks like wildfire. On 1,000 worlds, enslaved species watched in disbelief as their oppressors fled in panic. The Solvern Dominion, once thought invincible, scrambled to fortify their core systems. High Counselor Merak of the Galactic Assembly called an emergency session. The massive chamber, filled with representatives from 87 species, buzzed with nervous energy. The humans have upset the balance of power, Merak announced, his crystalline form pulsing with anxiety. We must determine our response. On Earth, Commander Torres stood before the Global Defense Council. The Solvern will retaliate, she stated. They cannot allow this defeat to stand. We must be ready. President Liwi nodded. Show them what else we've prepared. Torres activated a holographic display. For 200 years, we've been developing technologies in secret. Project Prometheus gave us quantum manipulation. Project Atlas created our planetary defense grid. But our greatest advantage isn't technology, it's our unity. In laboratories hidden beneath Earth's oceans, scientists worked on humanity's next surprise. Dr. Sarah Chen led the Temporal Physics Division. We've cracked temporal displacement, she reported. We can send small objects seconds into the past or future. It's not time travel, but it's enough to make us unpredictable in battle. Meanwhile, the Solvern Empire mobilized. Grand Executor Varthex, having survived Earth's counterattack, faced the Imperial Council. The humans possess unknown technology, he admitted. We must crush them before other species gain hope. Supreme Overlord Kraxus agreed. Assemble the Grand Armada. We will glass their world and salt their star. No one defies the Solvern and lives. But humanity wasn't waiting. Commander Torres launched Operation Liberation. Human fleets, previously hidden in deep space, emerged near Solvern-occupied worlds. Each ship carried a message. To all enslaved peoples, Earth stands with you. Rise up. Your freedom begins today. On Kepler 442 bits, the amphibious Aquari had served the Solvern for 3 centuries. When human ships appeared in their sky, broadcasting liberation codes, they hesitated. Then Elder Wavesinger made the decision. The humans defeated our masters. We fight. Similar scenes played out across the Empire. The Solvern had ruled through fear, never imagining their subjects would dare rebel. Now, inspired by humanity's example, dozens of species rose up simultaneously. The Sovereign response was brutal. They destroyed 3 colony worlds as examples, but for every world they burned, 2 more rebelled. Humanity's strategy became clear. They weren't just fighting a war. They were igniting a revolution. In the quantum research facility near Mars, Dr. Elena Vasquez made a breakthrough. "We've decoded Sovereign shield harmonics," she announced. "Their defenses have a fundamental flaw. They never expected anyone to understand quantum resonance like we do." Commander Torres smiled grimly. "Distribute the frequency to all Allied forces. Time to level the playing field." The turning point came at the Battle of Rigel 7. The Sovereign Grand Armada, 500 ships strong, encountered a human fleet of only 50 vessels. Grand Admiral Zorthan laughed at the apparent mismatch. "Foolish primates, you should have stayed hidden." But as the battle began, human ships demonstrated impossible maneuvers. They appeared and disappeared at will, striking from multiple angles simultaneously. Dr. Chen's temporal displacement technology created ghost images, making it impossible for Sovereign targeting systems to lock on. Then, the real surprise. Human ships began broadcasting the shield disruption frequency. Sovereign vessels found themselves suddenly vulnerable. Their impenetrable defenses flickered and failed. "Impossible," Zorthan screamed as his flagship shields collapsed. "No species masters quantum mechanics this quickly." Commander Torres appeared on his view screen. "You judged us by our years in space, not our capacity to learn. Humans adapt. We overcome. And we never forget." The Grand Armada broke. For the first time in their history, Sovereign forces retreated from a weaker opponent. The psychological impact was devastating. Across their empire, slave species saw their masters flee from humans, the same humans the Sovereign had dismissed as primitive. On Earth, crowds celebrated in the streets, but in the command center, Torres remained focused. "This is just the beginning," she told her staff. "The Sovereign won't accept defeat. They'll try something desperate." She was right. In the depths of Sovereign Prime, Supreme Overlord Craxus authorized the unthinkable. "Activate the Void Hammer," he ordered. "If we cannot rule the galaxy, we will reshape it." The Void Hammer was the Sovereign's ultimate weapon, a device that could destabilize stars. They had used it only once before, creating the dead zone where nothing could live. Now they aimed it at Earth's sun. Human intelligence detected the weapon's activation. "They're going to nova our star," Dr. Chen reported. "We have 72 hours. Torres didn't hesitate. "Implement contingency Omega." Across human space, the most ambitious operation in history began. Every ship, every resource, every mind focused on a single goal: stop the Void Hammer. But more than that, they would end the Sovereign threat forever. As humanity prepared for the final confrontation, messages of support poured in from across the galaxy. Species the Sovereign had oppressed for millennia offered their help. The Aquari sent their fastest ships. The crystalline luminaries shared their energy manipulation technology. Even the ancient preservers, who hadn't involved themselves in galactic affairs for eons, transmitted crucial data about Sovereign weaknesses. Humanity had awakened something in the galaxy: hope. And with hope came the courage to stand against tyranny. The stage was set for the final battle. The Sovereign had ruled through fear. Humans would fight with something stronger: the unbreakable will of a species that refused to kneel. The reckoning. The Void Hammer installation orbited Sovereign Prime like a mechanical moon, its surface bristling with energy conduits that pulsed with deadly purpose. Supreme Overlord Craxus watched the countdown with cold satisfaction. "In 60 hours, Earth's sun will collapse. Let the galaxy witness what happens to those who defy us." On Earth, Command Torres coordinated humanity's response. "All assets are in position," she reported to the Global Council. "Operation Stardust is ready." President Lai Wei studied the tactical display. "The cost will be enormous." "The cost of failure would be higher," Torres replied. "We need to hit them with everything. And I mean everything." The first phase began with deception. Human ships appeared throughout Solvern space, broadcasting false attack vectors. The Solverns scrambled their defenses, spreading their forces thin. They didn't realize these were automated drones, designed to create chaos. Meanwhile, the real attack force gathered in dark space between stars. 300 human vessels, joined by ships from 17 liberated species, formed the largest fleet ever assembled. But their true weapon wasn't numbers, it was human ingenuity. Dr. Chen had made another breakthrough. The Void Hammer creates a subspace resonance to destabilize stars, she explained. But resonance works both ways. If we match its frequency precisely, we can turn their weapon against them. The attack began at dawn, Earth time. Human ships emerged from quantum tunnels directly inside Solvern defense perimeters. The defenders, expecting conventional warfare, were caught completely off guard. Multiple breaches, Solvern tactical officers reported. They're inside our lines. Commander Torres led the assault personally. Her flagship, the Resilience, spearheaded the charge toward the Void Hammer. Solvern battleships moved to intercept, their weapons charging. That's when humanity revealed its next surprise. Each human ship carried a quantum entanglement device. When activated, they created paired singularities, miniature wormholes that connected 2 points in space. Solvern weapons fire entered these portals and emerged, targeting their own ships. They're using our weapons against us. A Solvern commander screamed as his own plasma blast tore through his vessel. The battle raged across the system. Human ships danced between dimensions, appearing and vanishing like ghosts. The liberated species fought with desperate courage, remembering centuries of oppression. On Solvern Prime, panic spread. Citizens who had never known fear watched their invincible fleet crumble. Grand Executor Varthex, commanding the defense, realized the truth. They planned this. Every move, every tactic. They studied us for years. Torres confirmed his suspicion via broadcast. You showed us your true nature when you killed Kenji. We've spent every moment since learning how to destroy you. The Void Hammer's countdown reached 30 minutes. Supreme Overlord Kraxus ordered its immediate firing. Destroy Earth now, before it's too late. But Dr. Chen was ready. From her position aboard the science vessel Hawking, she initiated the resonance protocol, matching frequencies. Now, the Void Hammer fired, but something went wrong. Instead of projecting its beam toward Earth, the weapon began to feed back on itself. The resonance cascade Dr. Chen created turned the hammer's power inward. Shut it down. Kraxus screamed. We can't. His engineers replied. The humans have locked us in a quantum feedback loop. The Void Hammer began to glow, its structure warping under impossible energies. Torres saw the danger. All ships, evacuate the blast radius. The explosion, when it came, was visible across the sector. The Void Hammer detonated with the force of a supernova, creating a temporary second sun in the Solvern system. The blast wave destroyed every Solvern ship within 1,000,000 kilometers. But the battle wasn't over. Supreme Overlord Kraxus, in his desperation, activated the planet's final defense, a shield that would destroy any ship attempting to land. If we die, you die with us. Torres had anticipated this. Deploy the Mercy Protocol. From human ships, millions of tiny pods launched. Not weapons, but humanitarian aid packages. They passed through the shield harmlessly, raining down on Solvern cities. Each contained food, medicine, and a message. We fight your leaders, not your people. Surrender and live. The Solvern population, seeing this unprecedented act of mercy from an enemy they'd been taught to despise, began to question everything. Riots broke out. Military units refused orders. The empire that had ruled through fear collapsed from within. Supreme Overlord Kraxus made a final stand in his citadel. As human forces breached his defenses, he activated a personal shield and prepared to fight to the death. But Torres had other plans. Stand down, Kraxus, she said, appearing before him. Your war is over. Never. The sovereign do not surrender. Torres smiled sadly. Then you'll be interested to know that your own people have already surrendered. They've chosen life over your pride. On screens throughout the Citadel, images showed sovereign citizens welcoming human aid workers, soldiers laying down arms, children receiving food and care. The empire Craxus had built on terror had chosen a different path. Defeated, Craxus deactivated his shield. Why show mercy? We would have exterminated you. That's the difference between us, Torres replied. We fight to protect, not to destroy. We kill when we must, but we prefer to build. The news spread across the galaxy within hours. The sovereign dominion, terror of the stars, had fallen to a species they'd dismissed as primitive. But more shocking was how humanity handled victory. No massacres, no revenge, no occupation. Instead, they helped rebuild what the battle had destroyed. The Galactic Council convened again, this time with humanity present. Commander Torres addressed the assembly. We didn't want this war. We wanted to explore, to learn, to make friends among the stars. The sovereign forced our hand, but now it's over, and we extend our hand in friendship to all who will take it. Species after species accepted. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's power, but more importantly, they'd seen their character. Humans could be terrible in war, but they preferred peace. As Earth's ambassador to the Council, a position now held by Kenji Nakamura's daughter, Akiko, took her seat. She carried her father's photo. He died believing in peace, she said. We honor him by offering it still. The reckoning had come and gone. The galaxy would never be the same, and everyone now knew. Humans were kind by choice, not weakness. Cross that line at your peril.